Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our weekly curriculum and technical support live stream for Career Choices, mytenureplan.com, and Get Focused, Stay Focused. We have today with us Laurel from our tech support department. Nope, she's over there.
I passed it on for you.
And as always, myself and Brooke from our curriculum support department. Welcome, welcome. If you are watching the live stream, please introduce yourself, comment, tell us where you're from. I see Spencer has already joined us. Hi, Spencer. So today, the 3 reasons to stay till the end. We're going to discuss where to find funding opportunities. We're going to discuss online professional development that is included in the Teacher's Lounge, and also how to include parents in your course.
Yes, so this is super exciting. It's something that we've been working on quite a bit lately to get just right. And so even though it's not a specific activity that we're discussing today, this is something we really wanted to share with you because it is included if you purchase a Teacher's Lounge. So you don't have to pay anything extra and you get some fabulous professional development. So we are going to go ahead and jump into the news minute. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up and I just realized it's not up yet. Bring up the newsletter this week. If you have not signed up for the newsletter, there will be a link to do so in the chat below the video once we have concluded. And but if you would like to just look at the newsletter for this week, as usual, there will be the there will be the link to do that as well. There we go. So, we are going to start out discussing funding opportunities for career exploration. So, this is something that is super important for everybody. I think we can't do what we do without funds to do it. So, this is a really great session from one of remind me.
I believe it was Tanya and Monica.
Yes.
That did it. Yeah, from one of our trainings.
Yeah. So take the opportunity to listen to this if you have anything to do with funding. If you don't, it's still a really great listen to help people on your campus that are looking for funding for your program. It is very important. The main resource of the week this week, we're actually not going to talk about right now because it's what we're going to be talking about later. So we're going to go ahead and skip this one, but just so you know, there's a really great video in the newsletter on this week. And as usual, we have our cute little ad for our live stream. But hopefully you're already here or you're watching this after the fact and you've already said hi and let us know that you're watching. We would like to remind you about our Principals Institute in Santa Barbara coming up in June in June. So please make sure that if your principal is not aware of this, please make sure that they become aware of it because it's super important for the principal to understand the program, and this is one of the best ways to be able to help them. And the last couple of things are things we talk about all the time, but I wanted to make sure to bring it to the forefront today because this is the pre and post survey is something that often gets overlooked in the curriculum. Not as much now that our fabulous tenure plan team has made it so easy to do in mytenureplan.com. But this is a super important opportunity for you to be able to allow the students to see for themselves the growth that has happened over the course of the semester or the year. But not only that, it's also a really neat tool to be able to get parent, community, and school-wide buy-in. So do not forget your post surveys at the end of this year.
Yes, we did talk about that briefly in a live a couple of weeks ago too. So if you have questions, you can always go back and give that a rewatch.
Yes.
Or call us.
Absolutely. So now we are going to have our sponsor of the week, and this week's live stream is being sponsored by the Teachers Lounge. So we're going to have that for a moment. So, if you do not have access to the Teachers Lounge, these ladies are who you talk to. Yeah, I can get
Absolutely. If your site has purchased access to the Teachers Lounge or has purchased the Professional Development Premium Bundle, you should have access. If you don't know if you have an account, contact us. Or if you know you don't have an account, forgot your password, we can help.
Yes. So today is all about resources from the Teachers Lounge. So you're not going to see these cute little tags at the bottom of the screen today because we are going to be in the Teachers Lounge pretty much all day. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the Teachers Lounge back up because the first thing, but I'm going to include us this time. The first thing that is important for this is make sure that you log into the Teachers Lounge. And then if you go to the green button right here, and maybe it'll bring it up. There we go. The very first option when you go to the key resources is what's called the Quick Start Study Guides for Self-Paced Professional Development. So if you click on that, it brings you to a page that looks like this. Now, the rest of the day, we're going to be talking about all of this, but because we're going to be talking a lot, I am going to just go ahead and drop this off the screen, and we're just going to talk about it because that's how I like to do things.
Make sure when you're doing your Quick Start Study Guide that you also have your instructor's guide with you because there will be portions where you will need it. So make sure you have that handy as you go through any of the Quick Start Study Guides.
Yes, and if you don't have a current edition of the instructor's guide, please contact us. There have been some really great updates in the newest edition. So we are going to go into a little bit more detail on our Quick Start Study Guides. So the first Quick Start Study Guide that I'm actually going to walk you through in depth, the rest we're just going to kind of talk about briefly, is the Career Choices Series Instructors. So this study guide is specifically geared towards instructors who are using the Career Choices or Career Choices and Changes textbooks, predominantly in the 9th grade, but this is training for use of those 2 textbooks specifically. We do have Quick Start Study Guides for other ones. We'll get to those in a minute. But in this particular self-study guide, there are 5 modules and 1 optional module. So the first module is what is the freshman transition or get focused, stay focused program model, and why is it important? So this contains a little bit of reading material and several videos, and it takes about an hour and a half to be able to cover. So if you have a new teacher who is not familiar with freshman transition or get focused, stay focused at all, this is a really great way to get them caught up on the basic premise of the course. Then in module 2, we have a curriculum overview. This one takes about 2 hours to go through. But again, if you have a teacher who you're handing this textbook to, and they have no idea what the course is about, this is a really great place to get them started because it starts them at the very basics. What is the purpose of this course? And it takes them through each of the sections. Who am I? What do I want? And how do I get it? And talks about in detail why it's important and the pedagogy behind all of it. So it's a really great way to get your instructors caught up if they cannot attend a live in-person training, which is a little bit complicated right now. So then we have module 3, which is course planning. So this one takes about 45 minutes to an hour, and it just talks to teachers about how they can plan their course. And I'm seeing some comments come in. And we have Mindy with us today and she says, quick start study guides work really well. Yes, they do. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are honored to have you. For those of you who don't know, Mindy is the author of the Career Choices curriculum. So, and then Spencer also commented, the Teachers Lounge has a lot of great resources. It really, really does. But this is one of the most important. So, quick recap of this quick start study guide. The first one specifically for career choices and changes teachers is module 1, which is what is a freshman transition or get focused day focused program. Module 2 is the curriculum overview and the pedagogy behind the curriculum. Module 3 is course planning. Then we get to module 4, which is customizing your pacing guide. Now, the reason why we don't include that under module 3 is because it is so vitally important, and we have a lot of training materials specifically designed to help you customize a pacing guide that will work for your course and for your school. This is a really important part of the class planning session because it allows you to complete all of the sections. When I first started working with teachers, I would get calls constantly towards the end of semesters going, I'm still in chapter 4. How do I finish this? And I, I said, well, we'll focus on the keystone activities for this year, but the first thing we're going to do is get you a pacing guide for next year so this doesn't happen again. Because it's so important for the students to be able to complete the 10-year plan. And if you don't make it through the course, then that doesn't happen.
Brooke's great with pacing guides too. So if you need help creating a pacing guide, she's your gal.
Yes. If you need help with this, please, 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 please call me. I love working with pacing guides. I'm not only a spreadsheet nut, but I really love puzzles and figuring out how to make things work in the time frame that you need. That being said, we do have minimum hour suggestions that we recommend. Obviously, we don't recommend teaching this course in 4 hours. It's way too robust to be able to fit in that time frame. But for the most part, for most schools, we can figure out a way to make it work. But the pacing guide is a vital part of that, which is why it is its own training module in this self-paced study. Yes, and I just have to pop this up as well. It says the new online class agendas will make sure you get every student having a 10-year plan, which is our goal, right? That's why we come to work every day. That's why you teach this class. Like, that is our goal, is to help students create a 10-year plan, and not just students, every student. So the last module in this training is instructional strategies. So this part is really important because this course is different. So especially if you have a teacher who's not experienced, this part can be very, very helpful for them. Or a lot of our very successful career choices teachers are coaches, PE teachers, people who teach non-traditional courses. So maybe having more of a textbook-based curriculum is a little bit different for them. So giving them these implementation suggestions is a really big help. And we also have one last section in there, which is optional instructional strategies for your course, depending on the structure and course goals. So there's even a little section in there that talks about it. So making sure that you have your teachers trained is vitally important for this course. So important that the author Museum has given this to you with the purchase of the Teacher's Lounge. Obviously, ideally, we'd love to have every teacher come to a training, help them understand the in-depth purpose of this course, and to be able to give them that excitement for the course. But we know that that's not a reality right now. And so because of COVID and other things, and so being able to provide them this training that they can go at their own pace on their own time, or hopefully time that is provided to them, to be able to do that, it is really, really important. So that is an in-depth look at the first of the Quick Start study guides. There's a lot in it. You can pick and choose. If you're an experienced teacher and you're not really interested in the instructional strategies, that's okay. You can leave that and look at it later. If you really want to start with, if you've been to a training but it's been a few years, so you understand the basic premise of the course, but you want to get more instructional strategies, go straight to that section. If you don't have a pacing guide, you can go there. That's why it's broken up into sections, so that you can have what you need. And also, speaking of so you can have what you need, this isn't our only Quick Start study guide. There are others, which we're going to talk about.
Yep. So one of our new offerings is our independent study Quick Start study guide. And this is something we're really excited about because this allows students of all ages, of all backgrounds, of all situations to be able to access this curriculum. So in addition to the basic Quick Start study guides, there is a module 3 in this one that talks about what an independent study course is and how it works for the students, what the benefit is for a student to work at their own pace. The other thing that is a little bit different in this study guide is module 5, which talks about how to grade an independent study course. And then in module 6, how to track student progress in an independent study course. So the thing about the Teacher's Lounge is that it's such an enormous resource library that these things are available to you to go back and look at over and over and over again, even if you've taught for a long, long time. These Quick Start study guides are invaluable because you can go back and look at and think, now how am I supposed to do this? How's the best way to approach this? This is always here for you to look at as an instructor. So in addition to the Quick Start study guides, there's so many other resources in the Teacher's Lounge. And I would just say, go in and look around, look at everything, click on everything you can and see what it does. But start with the study guides and then go from there.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, one of the other Quick Start study guides we have is for how to implement the Get Focused, Stay Focused follow-up modules. So we've talked about the modules within the training modules. These are training modules for our modules, for the Get Focused, Stay Focused modules. Within the Quick Start study guide for the Get Focused, Stay Focused follow-up modules, we have three different modules, training modules, one for each module. Within that, they're about 2.5 hours each for the full, for both modules within each training section, with 2 additional optional modules that you can if you would like the additional information, you can access those also. Those include webinars from master instructors of the course. So you really get kind of a good explanation of how to teach it, all of that kind of stuff, how it fits in with the plan that they've already created, all of that. So go in and check that out if you are a module instructor.
And Brianne, you're absolutely amazing. And that's why I gave that section to her and let her talk about it, because you explained that absolutely beautifully. The difference between the modules inside the self-study guides and the actual follow-up modules for the Get Focused, Stay Focused program. Now we're going to go the other direction, and there is also a quick start study guide for implementing the middle school curriculum. So if you use our middle school bridge program, this is a really great one for you. And if you are not familiar with the curriculum, there are a lot of videos that we've created to be able to support that. And you may recognize the voice that's on a lot of those videos if you listen to these live streams and then go in and look at that. But not only are these videos great for the middle school program, they really are applicable for the rest of the program as well. So if you haven't seen these videos, go in and take a look at them. They're really cool. And I don't just say that because it's my voice on the videos. They're very, very well written, really, really engaging. And so it's that's a resource that I feel like everybody should be using more often. So specifically, the Quick Start Study Guide is for the implementation of the middle school bridge program, but you can also see the videos there, and also it includes buy-in resources for the middle school bridge program. So if you are looking at trying to get that implemented in your district at your middle schools, or potentially if you have a high school that has some of those lower grade levels, take a look at that. See how you can help your 7th and 8th graders, or potentially doing a summer program for your incoming 9th grade freshmen. This middle school bridge program is a huge support for students who are coming into the Career Choices program, because it talks a lot about the basics of the course. So we would like to remind you that you can preview the Quick Start Study Guides at this link that is posted below. If you would like to look at that, please do so. Again, if you don't have your Teachers Lounge login, talk to Brianne. All right.
Yes.
Have I said that enough yet today? I don't think so.
You're going to be getting unlimited calls after this stream.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody on the Teachers Lounge.
So the next Quick Start Study Guide we have is for whole school guidance, academic coaching, and kind of a little bit of parent and community involvement. So within that section, there is a different study guide for teachers, for counselors, for administrators, and for parents. So teachers, counselors, administrators, they do have their own little quick start study guides sort of otherwise, but they also have a lot of information in here. The one point I did want to touch on is parents. So research shows that parents have the most influence when it comes to supporting students' career exploration and choices. So we like to encourage our schools that are using it to have their school use the student's chosen career outlined in their tenure plan to host a parent night. And within that section, there is a video on how one of our mentor teachers hosts a parent night at her school. It's a really good, watch. But it's great to get teachers involved and community involved. You know, you can have people come in and be guest speakers, or, you know, do interviews with them. I know one of the instructors of the course once invited me, and I think somebody else on our staff to do interviews with her students during COVID, when it's Zoom and we couldn't be in, she couldn't invite people in the class, so she had all sorts of people doing those mock interviews, and it was really great. So including parents and community is really great. So I would definitely recommend taking a look at that, finding out how you can involve those people.
Yeah, that is so important, because to be able to reinforce what you're teaching at home, if the students get that kind of reinforcement, it makes such a big difference. And when a lot of times we see that students don't have an expectation necessarily at home for financial understanding, for example. And so if after you go through chapter 4, if the parent understands that they're learning about the costs of certain things, they can help make the students aware of that in their daily lives. So having that buy-in and having those things that the parents can go look at is so cool. But I geek out about this stuff. So the last quick start study guide is the study guide for administrators, instructional leaders, and funders. So this is something for the community at large, I would say, who is wanting to support a Get Focused, Stay Focused program. And so we're actually going to look at that. Let me pull that up here. So they can go to this page and they can walk through this study guide. And as you can see, it's a lot of videos. There are some documents for reading as well, but they can go through and learn exactly what this program is, why it's important, how it affects the community. There are so many resources on this page. I cannot even begin to emphasize how important that is. And as a community member, I would really want to support this, because this is, how many times do we hear people complaining about the younger generation not understanding the workforce and how to work, and the kids these days don't want to work. I happen to disagree with that. I think they're not being taught how, or not being expected to.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So take the opportunity to, if you can, bring your community in, make the community involved. If you would like support with this, or suggestions or ideas beyond what you see in the quick start study guides, please talk to us. We would love to help you out with ideas.
We will put our support email in the chat after the live stream so that you can contact us easily. Oh, looks like
Yes.
Brooke already has it.
We will put it in the chat as well. But so that is a really brief, although not as brief as I thought, because invariably every week I go over time. Very brief overview of what we've got for our quick start study guides. I hope the value in these is fairly obvious just from what we've discussed, but I cannot emphasize enough how much value you can get out of these, and they are included in the cost of purchase with the Teacher's Lounge.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with that, Brooke, because every year we have school site executives that are over the My 10-Year Plan program that say, I have new teachers, I need to get them trained. Are you having training? How's the best way to get them up to speed? And these quick start study guides are the best way to get up to speed to go in and teach that class.
Yeah, if you're not able to attend an in-person training, which a lot of people anymore can't. You can't get substitutes. You can't, don't have the funding to attend in-person events, which we do have in-person events, but this is available for you all the time for any of your teachers at your site. And yeah, they can do it at their own pace.
So definitely, if you're an administrator or a lead teacher and you have other teachers working with you, make sure that they are using this and that you're using this, because it is a vital part of making a solid program. If you can get your teachers to understand the concepts and the pedagogy behind it, get them a plan of how to implement it, get them a pacing guide to be able to implement it, then everything else can work on top of that foundation that you built. So this really is the foundation for a good, solid course. Obviously, that is so funny. I was just about to say this, but I'm going to let Tanya say it because she's amazing. Even if you attend a workshop, like Laurel said previously, and like Tanya is just saying now, this is a really great way to have a refresher, to be able to have access to the videos that we use. A lot of these videos are what we use in our live workshops. So taking the opportunity to do that, and to be able to have those materials at your fingertips, even if you've already attended a workshop, which we do highly recommend as soon as we're able to get those planned, please do that. But even if you do, these quick start study guides are still invaluable.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mindy. It is great to have you on today. We appreciate you joining us. This has been a really big treat. So thank you very much. And Brianne, would you mind just closing us out with what we discussed earlier?
I just want to remind you that if you do not have access to the Teacher's Lounge, or you don't think you have access to the Teacher's Lounge, or you forgot your username and password to the Teacher's Lounge, please contact us. We would love to get you up and going on the Teacher's Lounge so that you have all of these resources. Chances are, if your school is using the curriculum, they probably have paid for access to this. And we would hate for you to be struggling when there are so many resources at your fingertips. So please contact us. And then also we've got an upcoming webinar. Our Tips Tuesday webinar will be the job interview. That's going to be Tuesday, May 17th from 5:30 to 6 p.m. Is that Mountain Time?
That is Central Time. 5:30. So it's 4:30 Mountain and 3:30 California.
All right.
Pacific.
So if you have any questions about anything today, please contact us. And is there anything else, ladies, that you can think of?
No, I think you did great. Thank you, Laurel, for joining us. It's always a treat to have you on with us.
Happy to be here.
And thank you, everyone who has commented. And we will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.